We told you earlier in the newscast about a new study out today linking serotonin levels to sudden infant death syndrome. The study is small and certainly does not unravel the mystery of SIDS, and until a cause for SIDS can be found, there are things parents can do right now to make sure their baby is safe when sleeping. Joining us tonight, one of the hard-working RNs over at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, Wilma Nelson. Wilma, thanks for coming in tonight. We appreciate it. The link between safe sleep and SIDS, because we know the sleeping environment can present some risk factors when it comes to that new little baby. Let's talk about it.
Sure. We know that it's really important, first of all, that babies always sleep on their back. That came out way back in the mid-90s, and we saw a distinct drop in sudden infant death syndrome in response to that campaign. In addition to that, though, we have had the experience of being able to do more investigation on what happens to some of these babies, and we're realizing that some suffocate and some die because they can't breathe properly because they're on their tummies, and they call it positional asphyxia.
Parents can do a couple of things right now to keep their babies safe while sleeping, and I know one of the things that is always talked about is keep that area, that sleeping area, free of blankets, of stuffed animals. It's so tempting to want to wrap the baby up and make sure that it's warm, but that can be a big risk factor.
And we see that in the hospital all the time. People just want to put all those beautiful things in the cribs. But in the end, you do your best by your baby when you take all of those things out. Certainly dress them warmly enough so that they're not chilly, but not putting all those blankets and other items in the crib. Overheating is a risk factor for SIDS, and so we want to avoid that. Also the possibility of suffocating, because they can either get tangled or somehow put their faces into bedding materials.
You mentioned it earlier too off camera about sharing your bed with the child. Oftentimes when mom is breastfeeding, those feeding schedules come pretty frequently in the middle of the night. It's very tempting to keep the baby in the bed with the parents, but that's always not a good idea either.
No, and certainly we want to be very supportive of breastfeeding and that whole desire for mom to have baby close and to be successful with breastfeeding. But we really suggest, and as does the American Academy of Pediatrics, that the baby be in a separate but close or nearby space. They use the word proximal. So a bassinet right close to the bed would be a wonderful thing. Definitely encourage that the baby be in the same room as the parents, and that is also a step in the right direction to help against the SIDS risks.
A lot of great tips at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. We've got a link set up as well at woodtv.com. Wilma Nelson is an RN there. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.